Welcome to Nugget 80 with Steve Groman. What do you have for us today?
For many years, I have talked about how science publications constantly have articles in them where they say things like, what we're learning now has caused us to rethink what we thought we knew. That's the way I say it at the meetings. And I wanted to go through just a few months of just rapid pace titles and subtitles where it expresses that very thing. And then the next several nuggets, maybe we'll break some of these down and talk about them one by one.
Well, that sounds like a great idea. What do you have first?
Well, let's just go with Scientific American. These are all mainstream science publications we're talking about. Scientific American, August 2019. It has an article in here entitled When Animals Fight. The subtitle here, Conventional wisdom holds that the ability to assess a rival's fighting ability is universal in the animal kingdom. Recent research shows otherwise. Which, again, it's a good thing, I suppose, but I'm simply saying they say one thing, people learn one thing, and now recent research will change everything about it. Okay, here's another one from Science News, August 2019. Source of gaps in stellar disks debated. Rings in the gas around stars may not point to developing planets.
Like it ever did?
Well, they think it did. How about Science News, September 2019? Right on the front cover, Cosmic Uncertainty. Measurements of how fast the universe is expanding don't match up. And the article starts out, the expanding question, scientists tackle conflict over how fast the universe is ballooning.
Ballooning, I think that's going on is in Albuquerque.
That's
here,
true,
right?
too. They do have a nice balloon festival. Thing is, if it is ballooning, as they use their term, just measure it and tell us what it is. If you're going down the road, how fast you going? Another one, Scientific American, September 2019, entitled Virtually Reality. How close can physics bring us to a truly fundamental understanding of the world? Truth can be elusive even in the best established theories. Quantum mechanics is as well-tested a theory as can be, yet its interpretation remains inscrutable. Here's another one in the same publication, September 2019, Numbers Game. Philosophers cannot agree on whether mathematical objects exist or are pure fictions.
Well, that one's interesting.
It's extremely interesting.
Is that kind of like when you talk about science versus science fiction?
Yeah, science versus science fiction versus pseudoscience, scientism. A lot of what is expressed as science today is not really truly science, as we will see in some of these upcoming nuggets.
Well, sometimes I don't think they're using the scientific method. They're just using a computer program.
Exactly. Many, many times that's true. Scientific American, October 2019, A Significant Problem. And it talks about in the subtitle, Standard Scientific Methods, which you're just talking about, are under fire. Will anything change? And they go talking about it. Here's another one, October 2019, Obesity on the Brain. Ultra-processed foods seem to trigger neural signals that make us want more and more calories. And it goes on and on and on, and we will break this one down about foods.
That one sounds interesting because I know that food, the nutrition value is zilch, basically, in food, and that's why we're eating a bunch of empty calories, and our body is wanting more because it's like desperately trying to get some sort of nutrition out of what we're feeding it, right?
Well, yes. Listen to how this article starts. Nutrition researcher Kevin Hall strives to project a Zen-like state of equanimity. In his often contentious field, he says he is more bemused than frustrated by the tendency of other scientists to, quote, cling to their pet theories despite overwhelming evidence that they are mistaken. Some of those experts, he tells me with a sly smile, quote, have a fascinating ability to rationalize away studies that don't support their views.
Okay, wait a minute. Zen-like state?
Yeah,
or equanimity?
We'll break the whole thing down on a future nugget, but I just want to focus today on because I have
religion?
A lot of these. Well, it absolutely is, but cling to the pet theories despite the evidence, and then they go and absolutely explain how that's not necessarily so. They just don't know.
Well, I look forward to that.
Yes,
nugget.
it will be a good one. Here's another one, Scientific American, December 2019, Learning to Love Plastic. In some ways, it can actually be good for the environment.
Oh, no. Yeah. But you know what? I'm keeping with the paper bag, sack, whatever.
I'm telling you, whatever you learn, just hang on, it'll change. All right, let's go to Scientific American, December 2019, Escape from a Black Hole.
We heard someone the other day talk about black holes, and I think he summed it up really well. A black hole is nothing but a mathematical construct.
To quite a degree, that's true. It goes on, to save quantum mechanics, information must break free from black holes. New observations may tell us how.
And you know about those observations, we have been to two of the famous VLA, very large arrays, one in California and one just the other day in New Mexico, and we will certainly do a nugget on the VLAs because they are looking into black holes, and that's where they get all these pictures, right? This data.
Well, that's where they make all these pictures, but that's another topic we'll get to when we dissect this. It goes on, rewriting the laws of physics. Our very notions of space and time, which underlie the rest of science, appear to require significant revision.
Well, I know that you have talked to NASA scientists about space-time, and that was quite an interesting conversation. Maybe we'll share that sometime in a nugget.
How about Science News, December 2019? Galaxy has clues of reionization. Studies suggest source of early universe's hydrogen makeover. Oh, so now the early universe, like they know what happened there, they're going to have to figure out how much hydrogen was involved.
I think they need more of a makeover than on hydrogen.
I think probably so. How about Science News, January 2020? Galaxies low on dark matter found. Scientists can't yet explain how the star systems formed.
I can.
Yeah, God says in His Word, He made the greater light, the lesser light, and
the stars also.
But the way the article starts, a smattering of small galaxies appear to be missing a whole lot of dark matter. How about Science News, February 2020? Will acidification alter fish behavior? Scientists rethink proposed effect of climate change.
Climate change is one of the things they really like to hang their hat on.
They really do.
And it's just a control.
It used to be global cooling, then it was global warming, and now it's climate change.
Right, because they don't know whether we're getting hot or cold or what.
And here's a Discover magazine, March, April of 2020. Put a ring on it. How old are Saturn's rings? It's a tricky question because astronomers have to answer it indirectly by inferring what other measurable properties like the ring's mass and brightness could mean about their age. Astronomers hope that future missions to Saturn could one day solve this mystery. What do you think of that?
Gobbledygook. Again, I'm claiming Colossians 2:8 on that.
From beginning to end. That's a bunch of high-sounding nonsense. Scientific American, March 2020. Two divergent measurements of how fast the universe is expanding cannot both be right. Something must give. But what? I'm telling you.
Maybe it's not expanding at all.
Maybe not. March 2020, Scientific American. What is killing the monarchs?
Oh, no.
It seems simple. Roundup herbicide was destroying America's favorite butterfly. But new evidence has started an urgent debate about other causes.
Boy, Roundup, topic all of its own, isn't it?
Yes, it is. April 2020, Scientific American. Big questions from Alan Guth. As a postdoctoral fellow, physicist Alan Guth developed a theory of cosmic inflation which describes the early universe before the Big Bang. Here he shares his thoughts. Interesting word there, isn't it? On what existed before that. A backward world where the past is the future and where infinite parallel pocket of universes pop into existence.
Where is Captain Kirk when you need him?
And the article starts out, our universe began with a bang. A big bang. The explosion stretched the very fabric of space-time, sending superheated matter in all directions. And it goes on and on, talking about all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, we'll get to that one too. Scientific American, May 2020. Massive redo. The subtitle, a new explanation for the giant Tamu massive volcano rewrites the story of how the seafloor formed.
I think Noah knows how the seafloor formed.
I think he does. Scientific American, June 2020. Got to talk about Pluto. Collision terrain. New simulation delves into potential for a buried ocean on Pluto. Another one in the same publication, Scientific American, June 2020. Tastes like pheasant. New analysis ruffle the story of poultry domestication. June 2020. Drug tested. New model shows opioid deaths may be significantly underreported. Another one, June 2020. Viruses can be saviors too. I'm telling you.
Seriously?
That's what it says. Anyway, we will get into these. June 2020, Scientific American. A planet is born. High-resolution imaging of circumstellar disks, the swirls of dust left behind after stars form, is revealing hidden planets and insights about how solar systems evolve. I'll bet. We'll see. We'll keep going. Regardless of which one of these missions is ultimately selected, the one thing I know for sure is that our understanding of the solar system and of all its formation and its place in the universe of exoplanet systems is changing every day. Absolutely changing.
I call Colossians 2:8 on this.
Every day. Yeah, it's a good one. How small is small? Scientific American, June 2020. Of course, they're running a tape measure around the Earth. Calculations can never be better than the assumptions that guide them. But if numbers are fallible, then what exactly is their point? Interesting point. Admittedly, scientists are often admonished to speak in plain English, and small and very small are plain English. But when the numbers they refer to are not small, they become misleading. We'll delve into this one too.
Exponential error.
Yes, in a big way. Anyway, I'm just going to wrap this up. My point was not a very technical explanation of anything not in this nugget, but I wanted to just show just a smattering of articles, how they start, how they're titled, how they conclude, how they're admitting that They really don't know. The problem is, yes, it's nice that when they find new evidence, they change their ideas, and no problem. That's what they should do. Then quit teaching it as a fact all along the way. That's where the problem comes in. The textbooks that our children learn from, they're just more and more presenting information as a fact when in reality, it's not.
But God's word is settled in heaven.
Thy word is truth. John 17:17. It is the truth. So we need to always go back to see what it says.
All right, well, we look forward to dissecting each one of these, and this
It's gonna
will
be fun.
a lot of nuggets, but I think it'll be very helpful for families. I know it seems like craziness. What does this matter? But it does matter, because this is the information that leads students astray and to walk away from the church, from the Word of God, and from the Lord. And we need to get involved.
Absolutely it does, and that is also true. The reality is also, it's not just these articles. It's pretty much everything that's in the books these days. Now, science is good. I like science. Anything
Not
that has to do with
evolutionary
evolution?
science.
No such thing as evolutionary science.
All right, well, thank you. This is a listener-supported ministry, and if you are enjoying these nuggets and the other videos that we have been producing and putting on our YouTube channel, Steve Groman, and on Facebook, we certainly appreciate if you are able to partner with us on a monthly basis or even consider a one-time donation. We are a listener-supported ministry. Thank you.